Let's go. Pour a little one.
Cheers to you. All
So
right,
we're
all
here,
right.
live in the flesh.
We are
Anthony,
here, live and direct. What's going on?
how you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
This is going to be fun.
This is gonna be super fun.
I know. We got to let this audience build a little bit, make sure everybody gets in here.
Yeah, we'll let it build up.
Oh, yeah. First of all, let's thank the two gentlemen that brought us together, Angel and Ev. Two guys that we both worked with for many, many, many years.
Cheers,
Up to
guys.
them. This is for all video directors, everybody that
This is for the
loves
whole
media.
industry, man. Straight up.
It's nice to honor this time in our lives, to honor this craft and the people that work so hard to do it. There's a lot of us out there, and it means so much to us, you know, whether we're still doing it, we still are, you're young, whichever one it is. You know, it's a special medium.
Yeah, and I mean a nice little backstory just for everybody that's still waiting on this. Um, for me, this is super dope, Anthony, because when I first started, as you know, my first mentor was Taj, and you were Taj's mentor. And I
Yeah.
remember seeing your work for the first time, and I was like, "That's the guy right there. That's who I want to. That's who I want to be able to follow in their footsteps." Because you were bringing this whole new thing to filmmaking, and it was cinematic. You were shooting anamorphic, like it was gritty. It was some shit that nobody had really seen in like the pop world. And that right there just like really sparked everything for me and wanted it, like it made me want to really push it until I found like my own eye and really started pushing that direction. But like to have somebody like you even like recognize me at the time was so dope. Like I remember you invited me to Dustland Fairy Tale set, and I was like, damn, this is so dope. This is like what a real production looks like. This is really, really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, man, it's an honor to be here and be rocking with you right now.
Likewise, the same thing for me. When I started off, I really sort of came in because I was a photographer, and really, Chris Robinson, shout out to Chris. He, tried to make a deal with me early and brought me in. It was hard. The late 90s was a really tough time to be a video director. You really had to earn your way in. And it was like Hype and X and Benny and Dave Myers and Joseph Kahn. Those guys ran it, and stylistically, it wasn't what I wanted to do. I came from a narrative background, so I wanted to try to bring some of that to music video. So handheld, anamorphic, more storytelling, longer intros, stuff that did not work with marketing plans, did not work with what video commissioners want to do. But artists, I found, because I had shot a couple hundred music record covers at that point, artists love becoming characters, and so I tried to translate that over into videos, right? So I remember when we first met, I remember your passion, and then I watched what happened, which was like the takeover, like you just stepped in and took such a huge, vast landscape from a lot of guys that had owned that land for a long time, and it was sort of a shock. And I think one of the strengths, and I say this to everybody, is like learn multiple disciplines. You were an editor. I remember when you came as an editor, so your videos felt and looked different. Many directors that have that editing skill understand what it's like to shoot and how it's going to translate. Some directors don't. They don't know how to sort of plan for that, and they overshoot or they undershoot, they miss. You had a clear vision that was strong, and it was so dope to watch. I'm obviously a big fan. I'm happy to be here with you. I think you've done amazing things with your career. I've been basically retired for the last 4 years, so it's an honor to go back into the archive and look at a lot of these things that were part of another part of my life, and it brings up a lot of memories.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah,
I mean, what you said about editing too is so crucial, because that definitely was a great way for me to learn the kind of ins and outs of directing, because I would go and edit something and I'd be able to go use that same mindset of storytelling and putting story together in such a short format and be able to really apply that to my directing. And it was amazing. And being able to have that component in your skill set is just everything. Even if you don't physically know how to do it, but you can do it in your head, it's everything.
Yeah, for sure. Man, we got all kinds of great people on here. Oh, the music video family is amazing, from LA to New York to Miami, and we all share, everybody. and it's incredible. A lot of like faces and people that were part of these videos, and that's why we're doing this, right? Everybody that's listening, it's out there. You guys all have your own memories, you know, your own connection with it. My boy Khaled, you know, talking about how videos we did 15 years ago influenced him to be a DP. I love that. You know,
That's
I love the fact that something we did I did in 2008 helped somebody's career, and now they're you know, that's amazing to me. You know, Taj, shout out to Taj for bringing us together.
Shout out
Taj,
Taj,
man.
man.
Taj was like a PA on Come and Testify, and you know, it was like it took him like 2 months, and he was downshifting and doing his own jobs, which is amazing. You know, it's all about will, you know, and about not giving up, and about having a vision and putting those things together. You know,
it definitely is. And
Kim Bradshaw, shout out to Kim Bradshaw. Shout out to my wife. All right.
And
Great
just so
stuff.
everybody knows too, something that we talked about this real quick for everybody, but something that we really wanted to do as far as curating this is like not just going for the hit songs, but this is like about videos. This is about the art of filmmaking. So it's about the mixture of both. It's got to be something that's going to resonate with us filmmakers. So if you feel like you guys are missing out a little bit on like, you know, hit songs or whatever it is, all good, because this is for the filmmakers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The problem I have is that all my videos are 10 minutes long. So I appreciate everybody's patience. I'm going to skip through some things and start 5 minutes each with the talk, right? We're going to go back and forth. It's all friendly. We all love each other here. This is all about honoring each other. You know, I might drop some elbows here and there, but you know, you got your own big knockout punches, you know.
Straight up, man. I'm excited to talk to you about them too, because all of these videos that you're going to play, I know are going to, you know, give me some good, just questions and some nostalgia, and it's going to be great. So, I mean, man, let's jump into it.
Yeah. So why don't you go first? And then when we reset, you know, I'll be on top, and then I'll go first. Okay?
All right, great. So, all right, cool. Figure out how to flip it. Video 1. Here it goes.
Oh yeah.
Mask off.
Fire. Man, you know, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to have an artist at their best, you know, and I'm sure
Straight
like
up.
you look back and you're like, wow, that's the moment, you know. And I never got to work with Future because I was sort of got out when he got big, but he's an artist I would have wanted to work with because that record's incredible. And I love what you did. It's fire.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy, bro,
incredible.
because we did a couple records before that. When I'm mentally there and at a point where I can really deliver for you.
Yes.
Because I felt like I didn't deliver on the last couple of videos that you shot for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, well, here we go. And that was like how we started the shoot off. So the rest of the night was just, the energy was perfect.
Yeah, there's an artist in particular named Jay-Z that used to say things to me like, this artist is ready to work with you. I'm going to introduce you to them now, right? They're ready for it, right? Which is always a real compliment. He says, you know, like when you think about like, okay, I'm on my path, I'm trying to do better and better things. And then an artist says that. So that was fire. I love that song. I love that video.
Thank you, bro.
Cool. I mean,
what you got? How you going to start it, Mandler?
Man, I'm just going to go up the middle, you know?
All right.
I'm just going to go up the middle. Let me just turn my volume up real quick. Here we go.
Hold up. Rewrite history without a pen, no ID on the track, let the story begin. This is anti-auto-tune, death for the ringtone. This ain't for iTunes, this ain't for sing-along. This is Sinatra at the opera, with a blonde, preferably with a fat ass who can sing a song. Wrong, this ain't politically correct. This might offend my political connects. My raps don't have melodies. You should make jackets will go and commit felonies. You should change cooking. I made do it myself. I'm so Brooklyn. I know we facing a recession, but the music y'all making don't make it the Great Depression. Or your lack of aggression. Put your shirt back down. Throw a set, man. It's just violent. This is death for auto-tune. Moment of silence. Only rap for the rewrite history without a pen, no ID on it. Number one record. This is practically a song with a deadly weapon. I made it just for flex and Mississippi, I want people to feel threatened. Stop your black crying, the kid, the dog, everybody dying, no lying. Your boy's jeans too tight, your colors too bright, your voice too light. I might wear black for years straight. I might bring back Versace shades. This ain't the C100. Yeah, he told me to kill y'all to keep it 100. This is for Hot 97. This is for Clue, for Kelly, who be the best thing. Yeah, this just violent. This is death for auto-tune, moment of silence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, shout out Benny Boom, Eve. I didn't see who else was there. I just want to always give it up. My fellow director, Mike Ho, I see you.
That one really gets
Brooklyn
right there.
That one's for Brooklyn. A couple facts. That video was shot. That video was shot in 1 day. In 1 day. What you don't know is that if you remember, we started downtown. Making Moves Morales, he's on here. He can verify. We started downtown. Then we went up to Rayo's. Now Rayo's has never done a video, and if you know about Rayo's, they don't really let anybody in there. So to take that place over for a couple hours, then we went to the Domino Sugar Factory and shot all the warehouse stuff. But we had LeBron come, and basically Jay was like, we're gonna have LeBron. This is 2009, so LeBron is like a phenomenon, especially for him to show up in a park in Brooklyn. We basically knew we had 15 minutes. So I went out with the cameras, Jay sat in the car, and people started looking around. They could feel it. LeBron pulled up in a van, got out, they played one-on-one. It literally was 15 minutes, and that was it. It was one, and the great thing is in the opening, which I didn't show, a lot of people didn't understand the significance of it, but it's Leor Cohen who's driving Jay, legend in the music business. Very, very important guy who gives me the salute. One of my
That's
favorites.
fire. I gotta say too, one day in New York is tough, man.
Oh yeah.
It looks like you shot a lot of that handheld as well. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. John Perez lit that. We shot that's prime handheld run and gun. But really, like if you remember, that was at the height of T-Pain and auto-tune, right? So we premiered this video at the BET Awards. I'll never forget it in my life. I was backstage with Jay in his trailer, and he was meeting with a guy from iTunes, and he had just done a deal with Rhapsody, and the guy was trying to pitch him on coming to iTunes, and Jay was like, you know, sort of like placating him. And then during the show, we premiered the video, and it was like overnight, I think it put T-Pain out of business and put
powerful moment.
Stop the conversation, you know.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
So, and wait, do you shot on film on that?
Yeah, that's film. Yeah. I didn't start shooting digital. I didn't start shooting digital till 2014 or 13 or 14. Yeah. That's all film. 2009.
It looks amazing.
That was fun.
Okay.
All right.
No, I mean, you know.
Shout out to Alexi. And Young Guru. Shout out to Young Guru. Man, let me tell you something. Like for 10 years, I would get a phone call from Jay saying, I need you in New York tomorrow to listen to a record. And I would come into a room and it would just be me, Jay, Ebro, and Young Guru. Spent a lot of time with him in very early times when you hear songs that you know are going to be legendary. So I'm happy to see him. I love Guru.
Fire.
Yeah.
All right. Going for number 2.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready, man. Oh, yeah.
I don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't even get in. Leg out. Yellow model G, yellow model shipping, yellow Lamborghini, yellow top missing. Yeah, that shit look like a toupee. I get what you get in 10 years, in 2 days. Ladies love me, I'm on my cool day. If you get what I get, what would you say? She wax it all off, Mr. Miyagi. And the suicide doors are recording. Look at me now, look at me now. Oh. I'm getting paper. Look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Yeah. Fresh. Oh, I'm done.
Hell, Breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you're doing that thing over there, homie. Just know that you know my me. Every time I come in, I gotta set it, then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow it, then I gotta shut it, any little thing, and then you do because it doesn't matter because I'm gonna.
So now that's that. Woo. Look at me now, right there.
Wow. What year was that? What year was that?
Oh man, somebody help me out. When was that? What year? I feel like it was 2013. I want to say.
That's cool. That was great. That's one of the first videos. That was an early, like, big one for you. That was one that just was eclipsed. It was so big.
Definitely. It was like I had like a role going with Chris, and I remember when I got this record, I was like, all right, we're out of here. And obviously I grew up skateboarding, so I wanted to kind of put together just a blend of all my favorite things, and skateboarding was something that really led the way on that one.
Tell me about the style and how you made it. You know, like I feel like this is where you really were finding your thing. You know, like
definitely. Andrew Listerman said it's 2011.
Andrew Listerman. There
Shout
you
out
go.
Andrew.
Shout out Rivington. There you go.
That's crazy. So that was 2011. So look, we shot this in one day too. Pre-lit the morning of, and pretty much walked into this shoot. But my approach behind this was essentially just creating a playground where I could just create every type of foreground movement. I brought out all my homies from the Bay Area to come out and skate and dance, whatever it was. And it was just a very free-flowing day where it just feels good on set. And that's where I met Wayne for the first time. And then we went off and did a bunch of stuff together. That's where I met Busta. We went off and did some cool stuff together. And it was just one of those records and videos that just really felt like it really took a boost for my career.
But there was a looseness to the camera and in the lensing. Was it tilt shift, or what? Like there was a quick focus shift. It had a feeling, like a sensory feeling, that was different for that style of music.
Yeah, I want to say honestly, man, we did a lot of it off from. We were shooting techno. We shot 2 cameras. One was techno, one was steady or dolly the whole day. But I don't really feel like we did any in-camera lens tricks. A lot of it was post, and that's when I was still editing. So I remember I just went crazy on that edit for like 3 days and was trying every effect in the book. And that's the first time I really started incorporating actual real visual effects into it.
Cool.
So it was a lot of fun to kind of be able to experiment with that and kind of see where my eye could go from there, because I was so focused on creating such a graphic image.
Nice. I love it. Well, I want to take you to something from 2008 that
Let's go. Let's go back.
It feels like the origin story of a little bit of that video to me.
Okay,
fine.
feels
like something that helped pave the way. 2008. Great. It was never the same after that.
It was honestly never the same. And let's talk about this for a second, because this is 2008. This video really paved the way for a lot of us, and it definitely was kind of the first like real pass it, like being like, all right, let's take pop music in this direction. Let's do something extremely different here. And dude, it felt like a movie. You really created a world with that video, and it must have been a crazy feeling to create that. I mean, let's get a little background.
First of all, yeah, there's a lot with this. First of all, shout out to Omar Ganai, brilliant cinematographer who really pushed the boundaries on this, and we really took chances. We mismounted lenses, we undid the film gate, we did everything we could, and really it was a story of Rihanna finding herself, because I've done 17 videos with her, and this lands in the middle basically, and after this she essentially could do anything she wants. This is pre sort of the Chris Brown incident. So she was always digging to this darkness, and Def Jam LA, they were always pushing her sort of back to be almost like a R&B Caribbean sort of, they didn't know how to box her. And this was single number 5 or 4 off this album. And she said to me, she's like, we're doing whatever we want. I'm totally going far. They can't tell me I'm paying for it. It was a whole conversation, because every video before, she always come out with like an eye patch, and we were like, no, you can't do that, or like some weird earring. Nah, she was always trying to push the limit. And with this video, we went all the way. And the night before, the day before, she called me and said, I need to see you. And I drove to Los Feliz where she was staying, and we sat down. She's like, I want to change like 4 or 5 things. And she totally changed a bunch of stuff and ended up coming back around. But she just wanted to make sure we were going really far. And when she came out of the dressing room with black nails and black, it was shocking, because no one was doing that. You have to, this 2008, this started this sort of black gothic, like distressed, dark look. Artists were not doing that. Women were not doing that. So I remember when we made the video, I got a phone call from L.A. Reid, and he said, I'm shelving it. And I said, there's no way. He goes, it's too far. I said, it's going to be the biggest video she ever did. And he said, I don't believe it. And I said, listen, horror movies, kids want to see their idols like reinvent themselves and destroy themselves. And she understands this. And Jay understood it. And everybody around her understood it. And in 2 days, it was by far the biggest video. And her and I always laugh about sort of everybody takes credit for it. But it feels, I'm so proud of it. It still feels fresh, because it was like,
really creating this?
Yeah, this is it. People are gonna, like, I grew up on videos. This is gonna be a video people grew up on, and I'm looking at the comments, and it's like people, you know, what people say, like, this made me want to be a director, or this inspired me. It still stands up. It's a very special, and I think it opened up the gate, like when you showed the Wayne video, to take those sorts of chances with lensing, with flaring, with movement, because a lot of this video is double time, right? It's not slow motion, it's the opposite. So we're actually singing in slow motion and shooting 12 frame, and then when you play it, it's double time, which is not flattering generally, right? It's not what you want to do.
Yeah, no, that's a huge risk. And I mean, for such a smash record, for you guys to just be pushing it, that's why we need people like you in the industry that are paving the way. And and you're right. As far as look at me now, like, yes, that video for sure had influence in wanting to push it and pushing this direction of graphicness. Now, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Did you have a little bit of Nine Inch Nails inspiration?
For sure. Absolutely.
Yes.
Of course.
But how fire is that? You're doing that for Rihanna.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Romantic's a reference for everything, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and an editorial in W Magazine with Giselle, like a punk late 90s editorial where they're lifting her up in the sky, and that was that sort of feeling where you're like really shooting into the light and flying. You know, we forget, you know, with digital, the blacks really hold. In the film era, you got to be really careful what you do.
Yes.
You just do. You can't take the sort of chances.
And you can't do that with digital, man. Yeah. It's so true. And that's why that shot, like, yeah, man, just iconic, bro. I mean, I absolutely love that video. Congrats on that, bro.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Klein. Thank you, Andre. Stephen Klein.
Hey, 12 years later, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I got one for you.
All right, I'm ready.
When I was young, all I get is locked on.
Wait, hold up. We actually, I'm not going to play that one.
Oh, you're going to do that? Because I can do that too.
No.
Hold on.
Me no ever said with the fake. That part. All my bitches independent bitches. That part. I just want the paper. That part. All my bitches black. Yeah. That part. Okay. That part. Niggas can't be choosers, business ain't your problem. Nigga with an attitude, I feel like, oh shit. Walking, living legend, and I feel like Colin. I just left the skip to gas and play the only. Wifey gonna kill me, she's a female, okay. God don't kill me, man, it's safe, okay. You ain't capping. That bitch ain't really glad that's a captain. If I walk up, that assassin. How the paparazzi doing backflips. If I lay you down on the mattress. street with the fame. That part, all my bitches independent me.
Two, fire.
So that
Wow.
one right there,
Fire.
that whole thing's a one take with Kanye. We
Fire.
shot all 60 frames per second so we could really be able to speed ramp and play with the edit. Shout out Vinny. Rob Witt shot that, did an incredible job. And nah, man, that was a crazy experience putting that one together because we had like a half day to shoot that.
Fire.
So
I mean,
it was,
anybody that's worked with Kanye knows it's not easy. And if you can bring it down to a one take, then you can change the path of getting approvals. Shout out to Nabil. He knows better than anybody. It ain't easy. You know what I mean?
no, all day, man. It was one of those things where I had never shot Kanye before. And I was like, if I'm going to do it, especially for a feature, I want to make sure that this moment is iconic. I'm not going to, do some regular shit. I want to make sure we're really pushing it and like pushing him. And I remember he had a great time with it too.
Marco De Niro, man, this guy, I love his comments. I got to meet this guy. He's heavy. You must have done something for him. That's dope. I mean, I love the distortion of reality and playing with the sort of interior language. That's what you tapped at with him. And that's as you know, that's a key to success. That's the difference between operating on the surface and actually getting inside an artist and projecting outward. That's the best videos are that. Like when you talk about Nine Inch Nails, like when you watch that video Romantic did, it's like he got inside them and projected out, right? When you when you talk about like, Hype's best videos, he got in artists and found his way through it. Same thing with you. That's what it was. That's beautiful. All right, I got one like that for you. This one was special. This is a great moment. Super excited to show you all this one because I think people forgot about this video.
Man, let's check it.
Let's go.
Pour up a little wine. Hope everybody's having fun.
Your money. Yeah. I know way too many people here right now that I didn't know last year. Who the y'all? I swear it feels like the last few nights. We've been everywhere and back, but I just can't remember it all. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm doing me. I'm living life right now, man. And this is what I'ma do till it's over. But it's far from over. Alright, bottles on me. Long song, drink it. Never drop the ball. Cause y'all thinking, making sure the young money ship is never sinking. Got to set it all day to pick it. I shouldn't have drove. Tell me how I'm getting home. You too fine to be laying down in bed alone. I can teach you how to speak my language, Rosetta Stone. I swear this life is like the sweetest thing I've ever known. Got to go Thriller, Mike Jackson on these. All I need is a red jacket with some zippers. Super good Smith-O, a package of the switches. I did it overnight, it couldn't happen any quicker. Y'all know them, it me either. What the biggest skeptic I make them a believer. You wouldn't be the first time I done it, throwing hundreds when I should be throwing ones. Y'all run it. I know way too many people here right now that I didn't.
Whew. Like, what was that? Drake's? Was that one of his first ones right there?
It's so early. I mean, you can see in his face, but look, I love him. Like, we had a great relationship. We did a lot of videos together. It's, artists change, right? They become, their expectations. This moment was so pure because he had done, I did a video with him with Mary J. Blige called The One, and he came by himself. Anybody that was there remembers. He came with Oliver No Guards. He was so like in a little sweatsuit, like, so innocent, as you remember artists when they first start. And I think he'd done the Khaled, the video that with Khaled and Eminem, Eminem, and I forget what it was called, I'm on One or whatever. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He really just had that. So this was the first big video he'd ever done. He'd never really been directed, and he figured out so many things about his performance style on set. I watched it happen. The way he was jumping around, the way he'd react on the beat, and stuff that he still does today. And it was just really cool. Like Jonathan Sella shot it, and he does. I don't think he really loves hip hop. I was bugging out because the kid, he was like a kid, and he just was like, you just want to hug him. He was so great, you know. And the record was so big, and I used this photo reference for that room, and there's no post in this. It's all practical. So
that's rear projection.
Rear projection. It's really complicated, and you have to you don't want seams. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I remember, like, him and his crew, they're real, like, art geeks. They really are. Like Oliver, those guys, like, they love art. And so at that point, it's like, this is like 2009 or 10. We put that up the test, and they were sitting there like their mind was blowing. And this is film. This is a digital too. So exposures were really complicated, but I'll always hold this one close because it's like the innocence, right? It's like when you see those early Madonna videos, and there was a different vibe than later on. Like, and this record just lives forever, you know, for real.
No, 100%, man. That really is a fire one. I remember watching that over and over and over again. It was so unique for hip hop at the time, especially.
Oh yeah.
All right, so what are we at right now? Where are we at 3?
We've done 3. It's so good so far.
Oof. All right, I got one.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So that's some circles.
I'm so jealous of that, man. Man, I want to work with Post Malone so bad. Like, he's a guy I'd come out of retirement. He's so dope, man. I just like, and to do that with him, it's like, it's so great when you can sell through an idea to an artist that they just, like, no video commissioner would ever back that. Look, we got the best video commissioner of all time, David Zaslow, on here. I see him, the best ever. No longer video. All know that. They don't. They want to stay safe. That is so, man, I love that. And that record's like monster.
Yeah, it ended up being a monster. And, you know, here's a little backstory on that one is, like, I got that record sent to me. I mean, bro, this is just the truth of your network is your net worth, because literally I was on Loco Contigo video set shooting DJ Snake and Jose. And
I don't know who that is, but it's cool. I'm sure it's great.
But anyways, Billy was like, well, you gotta check this record out, man. And I heard Circles for the first time. And that was the first record I wrote on for Post Malone. A couple weeks went by and I was like, damn, this is kind of interesting. And then they hit me. They're like, actually, we want to do Goodbyes first. And I was like, all right, but we got a crazy treatment ready for this Circles video. So I actually shot Goodbyes first, and I knew I had to kill Goodbyes because I was like, I got to make sure I do Circles still. So, and then, like, obviously Goodbyes came out, and, you know, a couple weeks later we're shooting Circles.
Yeah.
But man, as far as the process of that, we shot that in one day. We had 2 units going all day. We had to we just shot at one location and just basically created all those sets. We built a lake. We it was a really mad day, because when you're racing the sun, as you know, racing the sun and trying to get all your
Continuity.
narrative moments.
Yeah, continuity.
Wild.
But it's hard to sell through like classic otherworldly time outfits, right? Like, so
Yeah.
like to get him in like Knight's gear, like people don't, it takes a guy like him to understand that, because product managers and management and label heads, they don't get that. Like it's, you know, I had a couple like that in my life where, you know, like with the Killers, when you were young, you know, we went to Mexico and did a love story in a small town, or, you know, records like
Still my favorite video of all time.
Some Nights. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like straight up.
Thank
Still
you.
one of my favorite videos. That was like,
shout out to Max
still
Goldman.
hits my heart.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like David Zaslow, Some Nights Fun, you know, Civil War concept. Hard. It's hard to sell that through, especially when you're talking about pop music, because they're always trying to gear things toward teenagers. Do they understand it or not? You know? It's tough. Yeah, I mean, I got one for you here that does the one of the hardest videos I ever did, because I was worried I was biting off something really big historically, and I didn't want to fuck it up, you know. I'm gonna start a little in, just so we can watch more of it.
We thank you so much, everybody.
Brought to you by Lovebird.
Money is the anthem of success. So before we go out, what's your address? I'm the national anthem, gorgeous and beautiful. We don't have nothing to cry about. The rest to romance, no good for nothing. Organism of the essence deserves to be pure. But we have it, and we have we exist. Everybody knows it. It's a fact. I sing the national anthem while I'm standing over your body, hurt you like a python, and you can't keep your hands off me or your pants on. See what you've done to make me several. You said to be cool, but I'm already coolest. I said to get real. Don't you know who you're dealing with? Do you think you're buying lots of diamonds?
Oof.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still lost in that one a little bit, man. And by the way, that's the first video that's actually fit the screen perfectly in 4x3.
Well, yeah, because it's that is shot with reversal 16, 8, and 8 in 2000, I think about 13, and
Wow.
No one was developing reversal. The JFK, and take the concept of the Camelot of the Kennedys and apply you know, ASAP and Lana to that and sort of like what that would look like, but shoot it and realize it in a vintage way with this strange, distorted song that she wrote was very nerve-wracking because I didn't want to be like the asshole that did the Kennedy assassination like terrible. So it was the first time I worked with Dave Devlin, who's a long collaborator of mine, and we just did what we could to push it, and it's one of those that sort of lives in its time. You know, it's hard to get
such a beautiful piece, man.
You know? Yeah.
It's real art, bro.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How many days do you have to shoot that?
2. When you get more, like 2, sometimes 3, 2.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. All right, let me see what I got here.
Scratching off the list here.
We're scratching off the list.
Scratching off the list.
Hey, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit to something a
Okay,
little bit different.
I'm ready.
You know,
I'm ready to go.
We all have
Let's go back up.
interesting experiences on set, and that's kind of what makes us, right? You got to be able to be a chameleon and work with every type of individual.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
My anaconda don't, my anaconda don't, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buzz. I'm gonna boy, one named Boy, he's the living Detroit. Big soap in the money, he was getting some coins. Was the shootout with the Lord, but he lived in a palace. Was Alexander McQueen, he was fake belly style. Gun in my pocket, bitch, I can't.
You ever cried on set?
Oh
No,
man.
what's up?
I mean, I'm just gonna take an L on this one because it's too much. I mean, I just personally know what it's like working with her, and the fact that you got that. I mean, that to me, that's my favorite because the accomplishment of doing that is so hard. You know, everything was right in that. You know.
Thank you, bro. We definitely had a strong team to pull that one off, and like I said, man, chameleon mode.
Incredible. I mean, tell me a story about that because all the insiders that are on here know what it's like working with Nicki Minaj. I personally have a couple times. You have. Everybody is shaking their head right now. Tell me how was it? How was it? How did you get that?
I mean, look, man. For us, it's about really setting the tone, and when you're a leader of the set, you've got to come through and be able to create a psychology on people. And you know,
Come on, man.
Basically, in the most politically correct way. It was about creating a world and living in it, and making sure that everybody got through with a win.
I got it. I'm gonna take an L on this one because I mean I don't know how you beat that. So I'm gonna go light. I'm just gonna go light. Get this one over with. I just feel like it's important to do. You know, I don't know. It's like I don't know if you guys remember this record. It's from a long time ago, but I just want to like get this up.
Can't wait. Hey, my high school girlfriend said to the left, to the left. I feel you, bro. I feel you. Talk to me. How was that?
2005, 2005,
2005.
2006. I mean, you know, I was building a relationship with Jay, and I'd just done the first video with Rihanna, and it was what was it called? I don't remember. First video on it, and Jay was like, "Listen, I got this record with B, and you got to do it." I'll never forget. I was standing at my stove in my old house, and you know, she's amazing. I mean, she's very sensitive, and at that time was really young, and like she was very and shout out to Bobby O'Shea, you know, the guy who's in that. She was very sensitive about touching him and being around him, and so I love that gag where she pulls the necklace. You know, it was just one of those records. You know, it was a very bizarre record for the time. You know, so when people are used to up tempo and then you come with a down tempo song, but that song just it exploded. It's part of everybody's career, and look, I wanted to play it because it's not part of the narrative storytelling. You know, sort of classical Anthony Mandler video. It's different, but through my career, I have dozens of these, you know, where you sort of downshift and you lean in a little bit what the artist needs at that time. And that's one of those, you know. I mean, I think that, like, you know, you figured out with Nicki with that last video in a mode and you know, and just the visuals were the same thing with B. It was like we had to find something where it was sexy, but it was still a little safe. This is really before she started pushing the ball. But the record's iconic, you know?
But I think that's the craziest part, man, is no one ever knows what actually happens on set. They see the finished product and they say, wow, I love this song. I love this video. But they have no clue what goes on set. Yeah. And that's the beautiful part about what we do. Yeah. It's like, you know, personally, I pride myself on being a chameleon and being able to shoot every type of genre and create different types of arts and find different fascinations and things. And I know you're the same way. You have a specific style that you love, obviously, but you can go any way as far as, you know, genres and storytelling, and, you know, if you like, and that's what's so cool.
I mean, I was sitting here when I was the last couple of days looking at videos, last 10, 12 years, like, wow, do I play Usher? Oh my God. You know, like these, you know, it's got billions of views. You know, you realize that, you know, like you downshift and you're doing narrative one day, you know, street the next, and then next day you're doing, you know, Usher, which is R&B, slick, you know, pop, you know.
Totally.
Right. And that's the marker. You have to be able to move and re-evolve, you know.
100%.
I want to say to everybody, Colin and I made a promise. We don't have to do it now. We made a promise we were going to show a video today that no one's ever seen, a killed video. Against all fear, like cease and desist orders, we're going to show something that no one's seen, because we all have them. Everybody has them. Every video director on there has them. Making moves, meal penalty on everyone. True. never stood by a schedule I could ever hold. Billy Parks, what's up? Shout out to Billy Parks, super producer. Kim Bradshaw, super producer. Oh wow, great people here. But we're gonna show. We don't have to do it now. Hey, we have to show a video that no one's ever seen.
Of course. Okay. After our top 10, we're about to show you guys a little sneak peek, which will be fun because
we'll do it at the end.
You know, there's always the couple that we've all had them in our career that kind of you're like, wow, that just happened.
Oh yeah.
And when you're as passionate as we are about our work, it's just like, you know, that's your life.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna play one that this video means everything to me, and I'll tell you why after. But this was really kind of the jump start for my entire career. Okay. And I did it with absolutely nothing, and this was the piece that finally put me in the world that I wanted to be in. So here we go. All that bullshit's for the birds. You ain't nothing but a vulture. I always hoping for the worst, waiting for me to fuck up. You remember the day when I find another girl, yeah. You know just what I need, you know just what I mean. When I'm trying to keep it drama free.
I know your bags was the word. Wish you left the door. Now
So look,
Whew. Wow.
hey, first
I love
off,
that video. I
shout
remember
out to
that
Nate
so
Grace,
clear. I remember
because
that.
Nate just said, he's like, man, this is
Who?
my good high school friend. He was like, I was in the pen and I saw that on BET for the first time. So I remember I had my friends from jail calling, being like, bro, I just saw your name on TV for the first time. I was 20 years old. And it was one of those moments that really, well, like, I finally felt like I could really do it. And all of you guys know, after writing 102 treatments and looking at guys like Anthony Mandler, the only thing you want to do is make a piece that's going to hit, but also that you're artistically proud of. And I remember we went out and we shot that shit for like $2,500. Nothing.
Under the 7th Street Bridge or
Under the
which one?
7th Street Bridge,
Yeah,
but it was
fire.
about shooting black and white, having the right composition, shooting with like one HMI light, shout out Rob Witt, and just going in and doing it. I remember I edited that piece, and that was the first time that I was like, okay, this one's about to hit. So, and from there, I did like 30-something Chris Brown videos with him.
It's interesting because I was so entrenched in the Rihanna Chris Brown world, right? Like I spent a lot of time with Chris, and when everything happened, like, you know, that was off limits for me, you know, and it was a tough time. You know, he was going through a lot, she was going through a lot, and I love that you built that relationship with him, because you guys did legendary stuff, you know, and he's obviously so talented. And I love the silhouette dancing stuff down that tunnel. Fire.
Crazy.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah, bro. I remember we just like put the camera there on it. Everything was shot off tripod or dolly. We never took it off.
Yeah.
It was all about creating these like, it really did. Benny just, you feel me? It definitely like was a whole comeback for Chris, which was nuts. But
yeah,
honestly, every single person that was involved with that video, it affected their career in an incredible way.
Great.
What's up, Benny?
What up, Benny Boom? Shout out,
hey,
Benny
but
Boom.
Real talk, it's 6:57. I'm gonna log off real quick, come back on, and let's get it.
Okay, I'm gonna go into. You're gonna come into mine, yeah.
Okay,
right,
perfect.
Let's do that. Nice, holding it down. We gotta let this build back up again, cause like we can't miss this. This is too legendary.
Oh, this is too crazy.
Yeah, cause I'm dropping elbows now. Cause I know what you got. I know what you're holding. D Nice. Shout out to D Nice. By the way, D Nice has completely brought the world together right now. And D Nice, you know, I've been sending you bottles of tequila while you're DJing. I'm drinking mezcal. I love D Nice. He DJed at our wedding. He's been
That's
keeping us all
fire.
sane.
What's up, D Nice?
That's our guy, man. I love D Nice. We love D Nice every night, rocking with D Nice, killing it. We love him. Brilliant photographer, brilliant DJ, special human being. That's all I gotta say. Shout out to D Nice. When we get to 400, which is where I love you too, bro. When we get to 400, I'm about to drop something crazy because it's time.
Back in the game.
Because we're back. We're on the back nine now. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Oh,
the,
Lucali Pizza, my favorite restaurant in the whole world. Mark, we love you. I can't wait to just go hard with you.
What's up, Mendez? No, this is great.
Everybody needs to come back in so we can do this. Tell us another Chris Brown story, because it was controversial. You definitely were with him when he was like enemy number one. People were not, DJ Ruckus, what up?
Yeah, but you gotta understand, like, for me, I was like all fucking day. Like this right here is an opportunity for me to be able to go create. And to be honest, bro, at the time I wasn't really following the music video industry too crazy in the music industry. So I didn't really understand the politics. Like I was 20 years old. I was like, you know what? Tiger called me and was like, hey, we got this record. Like, let's do it. We got to shoot in a week. Crazy. So I'm like, all right, cool. We'll figure it out. Let's go. Let's have some fun. So I like, you know, I don't think I was like consciously thinking about like what was actually going on. I'm sure from your perspective, you probably had a whole different perspective at that time.
It was like, you know, I'm down to talk about this for a second while we let these numbers go back up. I want to say hi to my
Yeah.
North fam, Stevie, Just, Model Suck. Love you guys, my guys. Just some good people there. It was a crazy time because they were so big and it was so tumultuous. I was with them the night before at this Verizon party during the Grammys, and you could just feel the tension around them, but you didn't know if that was like young love or something crazy. Shout out to Tanisha Scott, legend Tanisha Scott. It was tough, man. It was like the whole industry split, you know, because people took sides, and it was sort of like, it was a real bummer, you know, when somebody took one side and the other, and it was tough, man. I saw her like 3-4 weeks after it happened, and I was shocked. I went to her house, and I couldn't believe what I saw, and it was scary, man, because that's somebody's, you know, daughter. You know, it's hard, but then you don't want to get in people's personal business. It was tough. It was tough, and I had to make, because they came to me several times, and there were other records that Chris was on that I turned down because I just made it a policy that I was not going to engage because I just couldn't. For me, it was personal. I understand why you did it. It makes sense. It wasn't personal for you, but for me, it was.
No, I feel that. I definitely feel that.
DJ Ruckus, shout out DJ Ruckus. Yeah, but did you feel that? Did you feel during those times that it was like tough?
I didn't really. I was still brand new to it all, so I was kind of looking at everything with just little goggle eyes, like, holy shit, we're out here, we're shooting, like there's somebody super talented in front of me that I'm rocking with, and we just built from the ground up, so there was no, you know what I mean, I didn't really feel it.
All right, here we go, 400.
Hey, we're at 400.
Let's go. I'm dropping elbows. It's all love, though.
I'm ready for an elbow.
Woo! Blue told me remind you niggas. What that shit y'all talking about? I'm the nigga. Caught up in all these lights and cameras. Look what that shit did to Hammer. Bright lights and Tyson. Look what it did to Tyson. All that money one night. 30 mil one fight.
I'm gonna let this go for a second. Sorry.
You got to.
Take the clothes off my back.
Oh man.
You steal the food right out my mouth, and I watch you eat it. I still don't know why I love you so much. Oh, you curse my name in spite to put me to shame. Have my laundry in the streets, dirty or clean. Give it up for fame, but I still don't know why I love it so much. Yeah. And baby, it's amazing I'm in this place with you. I just can't let you go. One day screaming you love me loud, the next day you're so cold. One day you're here, one day you're there, one day you're there. You're so unfair. Sipping from your cup, silly runners over. Holy grail. Now I got tattoos on my body, psycho bitches in my lobby. I got haters in the.
Shout out to Will Harris. I told you.
I mean, super fire. I still remember the day I saw that video for the first time. And like I said, man, like, bro, you're the guy that's creating these cinematic movies for music videos and for legends. And that's what's so dope, bro. And there's like a certain prestige to that shit that I love. So that video will always be one of my favorites right there.
You know how hard it is to push a big artist, right? Somebody like Jay,
Yes.
who is so smart, and shout out to Joe. And it's interesting. He and I spoke about this song he called me about this song before Watch the Throne. They had this song done. I don't know if Guru's still here, but this song was done before Watch the Throne. Then they went and did Watch the Throne, right? So then after Watch the Throne, this song was still like this prestige because he loved this idea of like Magna Carta, Holy Grail. And I remember Jay and I had a lot of conversations with, like, when you're talking to an artist in your car, like directors, you're in your car somewhere parked, talking to an artist on the phone for hours. And he was so clear about this idea of like, what happened to Howard Hughes? What happened to Mike Tyson? What happens to people that achieve extreme fame and wealth, and that moment where they can't continue upward, they just fall? Like, how did Mike Tyson lose $300 million? How did Howard Hughes become this sort of freak living in an apartment, with growing his hair out, not being able to connect when he had billions of dollars? And I think it was reflective of sort of where he was in his life. And so we wanted to explore this sort of distorted, like, wealth excess. It was that chain, that like $100,000 chain, that crazy chain he was wearing, or more $300,000 chain. Everything was like biblical, right? So what's crazy is that we did the video, and I'll never forget, I sent him the rough cut. I was on a motorcycle trip for my bachelor party with my closest friends, right? And like when you send the rough cut and you get it back and you're like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? And with Jay, it's always like, yo, let's talk. And you're like, oh man, this is not good. There's no way this is good. And I'll never forget, I pulled over the side of the road, like somewhere in Central California on a motorcycle trip, telling my crew, like, I need a minute. I got on the phone with him and he was like, I'm sitting with B watching it, and it's like, it's too long and too slow. And he's like, you got to figure it out. I was like,
you're like, I'm trying to ride with my boys right
fuck.
now.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, I'm not even in the edit. Shout out to Jeff Sellis. And I called Jeff and I was like, we need to do something radical. I was like, change the song. Change the song. Which, by the way, you never do. I've never done that in my whole career, and I would never do that ever again. But we took Jay's verse and put it first, and then figured out how to distort it like reality, and it just worked. And what was crazy is that I think it fucked people up because they were used to hearing the song one way, but the video was so big that they were used to hearing it backwards, and it was just one of those strange moments. And I look, Jay's one of my most important relationships in my career, and I love him, and I'm cherished the time we spent working together and socially, right there for me at the top of my favorite videos. Shout out to everybody who was on this video. We almost got shut down by the unions, and it was one of those crazy days, 2 days.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's wild, bro, because the way that edit starts is damn near one of my favorite parts about that video. So it's like, that's how this works. You adapt and you listen to criticism and you figure out how you're going to, bounce off it and make that criticism even better.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a huge art to receiving criticism and giving critical feedback that, like, a lot of people don't know how to understand yet. But if you can figure it out and you can listen to what somebody's saying and be like, all right, how am I going to flip this? How am I going to still make this edit the best thing ever and still have everything that I love in it, but flip it a little bit based on what they're saying?
But you know how hard it is to get an artist like that off their ledge. It's tough.
100%.
Shout out to Mario Contini, who's said every time we almost got shot down, and Kim. Listen, I my crew that rode with me through thick and thin and highs and lows, I love all you guys. If it wasn't for your loyalty, we couldn't do it, And Colin, look, I own my own company. I helped Colin, when you wanted to start your company. You know, there's an empowered nature to being a director and a producer and understanding every side of it. And this was one of those jobs where it could have gone really left. And when you're spending $800,000, $1 million of other people's money, and unions come down on you, and you have to make tough decisions, it takes courage. So,
100%.
You know, I appreciate all the people that rode with me, making moves Morales over and over and over again. Shout out to Ev and all those cats that were there. Angel.
And I'll end this note on, you got to love the business.
Yes.
So here it goes. I'm gonna
This is 7. Wow.
This is number 7. I'm gonna switch up the whole vibe.
I don't know where to go right now.
I'm gonna switch up the vibe. Switch up the vibe.
Good.
And I got an intro on this one just because I really like the intro and I want to hold on to it. Everybody just, you know, embrace it. Here it goes.
After the cup until it overflowed, took it so far to keep you close. I was afraid to leave you on your own. I said I'd catch you if you fall, and if they laugh and fuck me off. And then I got you up in notice, put you right back on your feet, just so you can take advantage of me. Tell me how's it feel sitting up there, and it's so tight, but you're going to hold me. You don't want to put you up there. Baby, the sky doesn't ever get lonely. Thinking you believe, follow me. Thinking you believe, follow me. Baby, I want to put you up there. Don't worry. Thinking you believe, follow me. Baby, I'm the one to put you up there.
So yeah.
Dope.
That's Halsey without me. Really, I mean, creating that piece was definitely one of the best experiences I've ever had on set. We shot that in a day, 12 hours, and shot a mixed format of both Alexa and handheld 8mm. And
Crazy.
It was so much fun to mix both those formats and really, really push this narrative of a broken relationship. And I don't know if you worked with, no, you haven't worked with Halsey.
I haven't.
Incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
Have you worked with her?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Incredible talent, bro. So down to push it. As far as acting, she's got it. The whole piece was so much fun. We did the entire thing on handheld.
Beautiful.
So, and then it ended up being a smash song too. So that's always
beautiful.
That's always a blessing.
I'm going to keep it moving with something that was really relevant and artful and sort of has been forgotten. A lot of people don't realize the importance of this video to me, like when it comes to helping an artist. Like you know what I'm talking about, where like you meet an artist and they're stuck and you help them get to a place where they can go, right? And they might not do the next 5 videos with you. They might do one, but you've changed their mentality. It's what happens when artists get big enough and they get shot by a certain group of photographers and their whole thing changes, right? You work with an artist and then they do a cover of Vogue or W. Classically, they come back and all of a sudden the glam team's different. They're understanding fashion. This is a video that I really like. You know, he was really young. It was early. I convinced them to sort of go and take a chance and do something great. And it's sort of a video that slipped on the radar, but it's a piece of art that I'm always super proud of. I'm going to jump way far into it, but because this is my favorite part, okay?
Let's check it out.
Here we go.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's hard to sell Buto dancing to an artist, but you know, shout out to Weekend, Lamar, Cash, those guys. I mean, they really, truly, and look, they continue to do it. They truly embrace art and the other. You know, Drake played me his sort of 3-record, you know, albums early on, and Abel continues to embrace that sort of nature, and that's what's incredible about them, you know. Like, but going to Tokyo and doing this sort of video with those visuals and selling through a $700,000-800,000 video where we're doing this dystopian sort of mind control female goddess that controls people is not easy to sell, but super proud of it. And no CG on that, just so you know, everybody. And shout out to Kathy Angstad, who's in here, legendary commissioner.
That must have been wild, just having to figure out how to do all of that crowd control in the middle of Japan. And yeah, that's a beast of a piece right there.
It's pretty organized, to be honest with you. That's a Buddhist temple that we were shooting in. You know, it's pretty organized. You're able to sort of do things you're not. What was great about it is that Malik Saeed shot that, the legendary, and it was very early, like when the Red Dragon came, like a 1.2, 1.4, a 2.0 lens, the world just lit up. So you essentially could just like, it was the first time that you're coming out of film into digital, and you basically just put a lens on, open all the way up, and the world is lit. You're not putting condors up, no 18Ks. So when you got a wet down, you got shine on people's face, it's like, it's what we're used to now. And all the incredible DPs that are in here that work in the digital medium understand. But at that point, it was not normal. You know,
well, especially when you're coming from like doing everything in film, you were probably like, holy shit, this is a whole different world right here.
It was exciting. It was an early transition for me from film to digital. Very, very early, you know?
Definitely.
Everybody that didn't make that trip, including my wife, were pissed off. It was amazing.
Man, you make me want to play something that's super
Come on,
different.
man. What you got?
No, like, it's funny because, like, obviously we have our lineup, and then I have some that are, like, the left fields. And I feel like I want to play a left field based on that because it's a similar situation.
Drop that Kendrick. Just drop it.
No.
That Kendrick.
We holding out.
That's cool. I'll hold mine for 10, too. Just come on, man. Just drop that thing.
I got a really interesting one for you. Because I got a good story behind it, too, and I just love this video. You've probably never seen it. Check it out.
Dale mami, voy a ti, ay, dale mami, voy a ti, ay, dale voy a ti, dale mami, voy a ti, ay, dale mami, voy a ti, baby, cuidado por ahí, que eso se te sale, vamos a bailar, no le pares a ver, baby, cuidado por ahí, vamos para el beso, tú tienes un flow demasiado tenso, y yo tengo un reggaetón demasiado tenso, todo lo que te tiras se te va para el freso, pero y habla, y lo que tú hablas, tú sabes bien que te quiero dar cola, perro que muerde y nunca ladra, mira su maldad como una pobre gala.
Man.
You lost me
So
on that one. You lost me on that one. I don't know about that one. I mean, it's not.
no.
I've been retired. It's dope. I love the
So
record.
that's what I love about this, because this is my collaborator that I pretty much do everything with right now, J Balvin.
Dope.
I saw he was just up in here a little while ago.
Yeah.
But we had to go out to Mykonos to shoot this video, and the last thing you ever want to do when you go somewhere like that is shoot like a fucking tourism video.
Yeah. I've done that.
So straight up. So it was like, how can we push this? And we brought a film camera out there. We shot the whole point of it was absolutely no crew, and go for everything off of a tripod, everything static, the entire video. Create your frames with people, create your frames with these shocking images, and that's what it was all about. And it's still one of my favorite videos to this day, because the experience we had in our left field approach that we took with it. And shout out Elias.
Shout out to Todd Stansberry, who's so late. We love
wouldn't
you, Todd.
be here if it wasn't for Todd.
Jeez,
What's up,
Todd,
my boy?
so late, man. Come on. Shout out to Frank Boren, legendary director. Shout out to Nabil. Come on, Nabil. You can't be that cool. You missed all that. Nabil, the legend.
Hey,
you
Nabil
might be
was
up
still
next.
eating sushi.
Come on,
What's
man.
up, my boy?
You guys. That's dope. J Balvin's amazing. He's the kind of artist I would have wanted to work with. I love the records. I know what's coming. I love all the new videos. It's dope.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna take you into a classic.
Let's see some classics.
This one's tough because it's 10 minutes long. So this is one of my favorite videos I've ever done, and I'll tell you why at the end. And I'm just gonna drop it where it starts.
All right, great.
You can be my full-time baby, I'm cold. Don't break me down. I'm trying to long. I'm trying to long. With pretty songs. I hear the birds on the summer breeze. I got fast, I am the morning midnight.
hold on. I'll give you another one. Nabil, there's no exposure lock on this, but I got it. I mean,
I love that video, and for everybody that's watching this, make sure you go watch the full 10-minute version because it's a really beautiful piece of art. And for all the filmmakers, go check that shit out.
you know, like I'm gonna say something that every director here has their story of, is that like you have to find your group of artists that are willing to trust you and take chances, right? So with Jay, with Rihanna, you know, with Jonas Brothers, with Lana, you know, with B at times, I had a relationship with the artists where they allow you to take chances that I wasn't sure she wanted to cross. You know, she all of the leads opposite her are these strange men. You know, she has her own language that is hers,
Yeah.
right? And I will say this. In this video, it's the only time in my whole career where we as a crew were in the right place at the right time for the light. And any director, any producer, any AD can understand what that means. We were exactly where we said we wanted to be. And I am notorious for lying about my schedule. Making Moves Morales, any AD that's ever worked with me knows that my schedules are completely bullshit. I don't follow them. But with this video, we were there. Shout out to Malik Saeed. We shot this on digital. We printed to film. We rescanned to digital in order to push the colors. We brought in those bikers from Chicago. It was just one of those moments. And to be fair, the intro is my favorite part. So I stress you guys to watch it. It's like one of those perfect pieces for me. It sits in the realm of a couple other pieces, but I feel like I got the best of myself, of the DP, of all of us. Everybody was sort of functioning. And actually, the funny story is that Malik got sick at the end of the video, and he was throwing up, and I lit the last 3 scenes. And then we did a whole sequence where the guys are riding through fire and shooting off fireworks, and we had to shoot on an Indian reservation in order to get that done because that was illegal. But, you know, we just pushed the limits on that one, and it worked out. I do remember in the first couple hours of the day, I was very concerned about what we were doing because Lana Del Rey doesn't like to sing in front of people. So you basically have to do all your wides and your overs, and then you have to take everybody out. And it's very complicated. It's very, very complicated. But it's a very special video. I'm glad to.
Yeah, that's a very special video, Anthony. And again, everybody go check that out. But also, you said something really interesting, and it's like it's just, you know, you got to build these relationships with the artists that you love and that you're inspired by, because that's when you end up doing your best work. And I love that you said that the intro is the favorite part for you. Like that's where you got, you know, that's where you as a filmmaker gets to really breathe. And that's when I've done my best work, is when I build with an artist that trusts me and we get to just keep going. And you get to keep working. There's no second guessing on set. You guys are just playing. It's a playground, and that's what it's got to be.
Yeah.
And that's why what we get to do for a living is the dopest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because we get to just play. We get to create. We get to use our eye to make these little mini worlds.
Skrillex is in here, so I hope you're going to play that video with him. I've never worked with him.
Man, what's up, Sonny, boy?
Skrillex is dope. It's a shame we never got to work together. I hope you play that video right now, man. I know what you got in your gun. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
It's funny because I had a different one.
Let's go. Up. Come on. Play that Skrillex.
Wait, what number are we on right now?
We're on 8. We're on 8? What are we on?
Are we
1,
really?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Sonny's in the building, Mini World.
We're on 9.
Because we did a really dope video in Japan too that you
dope.
guys should check out.
Yeah, you've done a couple.
Did you see No Chill?
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. I'm not really holding anything. I got nothing left. So I hope these are good ones.
Okay, so look. I'm gonna play something because we're on number 8, right?
8, and then we got to do the unreleased one for 11. So
of course, man. I wish we could do 20, but 10's good.
Man, you and I could do 100 when it comes down to it.
Straight up. So we really can. Oh wow. I've got 2 number 8s lined up, to be honest.
I mean, your guy's here. You got to play it. Skrillex is like, let's go.
Yo, Sonny, what's up?
Come on, man, let's go.
Hold up. Sonny, which one you want, brother? We did 2.
Did you do one in Colombia or Brazil?
We did Miami and you said you don't play our videos? No. Hey, Sonny, I love you. I'm gonna play this one though.
Respect, Skrillex. Respect. I love you. Love your
I
music,
love
man.
you, brother.
Cheers to you, man.
I put you on a jump rope. I put a jack on the show. I like it when you touch the floor. Call me a dick like that. Call my phone when you home, man. Hey, mama, see the hey, mama, see the hey, hey. Trip too hard, don't show me some things. You just told me that man, don't give a no space. Bad little man. You gotta behave, yeah, let's get that alcohol on me. You be eating foods when you fucking in your car. You on a real nigga who got real shit in motion. I want me a willing me, the bitch to bust it open. Pop this shit, go. Slide on the nigga with the pop this shit, she bust that ass like a lady. Slide that ass like a lady. Pop this shit, go. Slide on the nigga with the phone. Slide.
Man.
Dope. I never work with YG, but you know, I spent 10 years with Snoop, and he reminds me of him. You know, it's I love when you have that really authentic street thing to work with as a director, because there's an aesthetic. You know, like I met Snoop in like 2001.
Ups and downs, baby.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna play it, but I had shot 4 record covers with him at that point. Like when I met Snoop, he was still dressed like a pimp. And I was like, yo, we need to get back to wife beaters and khakis and what, like when I was 18, I waited in line to buy your album. You know, and like I love that YG has that, like,
bro, but that's what it is. Like
YG
is like
dope.
The most authentic motherfucker I've ever met. And we were in the studio the day before, and he was just calling all his Latino homies, being like, yo, hey, bro, I need y'all to roll through. And they're like, what time? He's like, 9 a.m., like, blah, blah, blah. Because obviously when you're shooting in Compton, you've got to make sure that you're in the right set. And my whole crew basically base camped in a parking lot at a church, like about a block away from the house that we were shooting at.
Yeah.
And everybody started rolling in around 8:30. We weren't shooting that backyard scene until 10:30. And I had Elias's, who shot this, Elias, shout out Elias, what's up, my boy, little 8mm camera. So I'd go up to every dude that rolled up in their lowrider car and their whole posse and be like, hey, what's going on? I'm calling the director. Look, we're not shooting the scene for a couple hours, but like, let me get your portrait. And that's how we kind of built. And I built with every single person on that street shooting their portrait. So by the time we got into that barbecue, it felt like the most real, authentic thing ever, because it was. There was no actors in that video. It was everybody from the hood.
It's so interesting. Like, people don't understand this unless you work in crews, but like with Snoop, we could only shoot in sort of like Mexican mafia neighborhoods. We could not shoot in Blood or Crip neighborhoods. It was a big deal. And it's the same thing is true. It's like the street shit is real, and how it relates to what we do, and trying to prevent accidents from happening and issues. Yeah. It's a real thing. And shout out to, like, honestly, Making Moves Morales, Ev, like the guys that, like, all you guys in the 80 department that were there during that time, and what we did in 2005, 6, 7, 8. It was tough. It was rough, and I felt bad for Snoop. He could never relax because he was always looking over his shoulder, and ups and downs. A really important video in
So
my
true,
career.
bro.
Really big important video in my career. I'm not going to show it tonight, but it was a big moment. I was coming as sort of like one of the big, record cover photographers along with Jonathan Mannion. Shout out Jonathan Mannion. And Snoop was like, yo, we got to do a video, man. You got to take what you do in stills and bring it over. So that video and Come and Testify were really
Which
big
is
ones.
so dope he saw that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went to film school and studied film before, so I was always working my way back towards it. But
Yeah, that's
you know,
fire.
I mean,
Yeah, Ups
I'm
and Downs
out.
was a classic, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm out. So I'm on vapors now.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in a beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt energy that's so red. I saw the light beside your eyes. Tonight, you and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I too high, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Beautiful like diamonds in the sky. One shine to the universe as we moonshine and Malay. Feel the one will never die. We're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. At first sight, I felt energy that's so red. I saw the light inside your eyes. Tonight, you and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky. I too high, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
You know, I want to say one thing really quick. It's really important for everybody on
Talk
here.
to me.
Rest in peace, Diamond Dave. Rest in peace, Benji Bamps. People
Shout out Diamond,
that
bro.
we all love. Benji was one of my closest friends who did this video. Diamond Dave, I worked with from the beginning. Real special people that were part of our careers that are not with us. So, like, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
That's a
Like,
cheer. Hey, everybody
most of the
cheers
videos,
to Diamond and Benji, man.
most of the videos you saw, either one of them were on there. And everybody on here knows what's up. Everybody knows, you know.
Because everybody knows, man, when we're on set, it's family, man. That's family.
Those guys really, like, helped us. You know what I mean? They really helped us. Will, what up?
What's up, Will?
I mean, this is like, you know, so I did 18 videos with Rihanna. And she's like my little sis. I met her when she was 16. And this is the last video I did with her. I think it was 2013 or so. And it was tough because she was 3-4 hours late in every setup, and we were trying to do something really specific. And it honestly was a miracle that this video came out the way it did. It's one of my favorites I've ever done. And I remember being with my wife. She was not my wife then. Denise, we were in New York, and they sent me the song, and I was listening on my computer, and sometimes you get like a low-res version of the song. It didn't sound right because you couldn't hear the bottom end. We were like in Times Square, and I was listening to the song on my computer. I was like, this record doesn't sound right. And I think Denise will remember, we like went in the club, or we were somewhere, and I heard the record, and then we heard the bottom end. I was like, oh, wow, wait a minute, this is a real song. And the thing about Rihanna is that I always respond on the dark, moody, emotional stuff, right? Like her relationship with Melina, shout out to Melina, who we love, who's like part of this crew and part of this family, you know, she had the records with her, right? But the slower emotional stuff was always the stuff I did the best. And I really like, you know, vibe with her, because Rihanna has a there's an internal darkness and power that is like nothing I've ever seen in any artist ever. Nobody has what she has. There's something there that she taps into that comes out, and anybody who's worked with her knows that. You know, you did a video with her with a lot of people around, but I'm sure you felt that, you know, that there's when you really speak to her, there's something there that's incredibly powerful, and her and I just have a thing where we can go right to it every time. And I'll always, for me, it's like I grew up on Madonna videos and Duran Duran videos and NWA videos, and all, like, I'm so proud of the legacy her and I have, and this video being one of them, you know?
No, that's a super legendary video, bro. And I mean, everything that you guys did together, you know, was a huge influence on me. I mean, one of my favorites that you didn't mention is Russian Roulette.
Ah, man, it's so crazy. It's right here. It's crazy because it's one of my favorite videos. I couldn't get to it, but it's like, so people didn't connect with. I love that video so much. And for anybody that was there, Benji Bamps, rest in peace. We did this red smoke, and he told everybody it was non-toxic, wouldn't stain. And we did the first take, and everybody that was in this room came out stained and red. And we looked at him, and he was like, "Boo boo, I'm so I don't." You know, anybody knew him knew that's what he was. You know, it was one of those moments. And our Steadicam walked off set. It was a special song, never really hit, but it's one of my favorite videos I ever did with her, and I respect that you remember that.
That's one of my favorites too. I felt like just the tension you built in a music video, I'd never seen something like that before, and it definitely was a big inspiration for a lot of things that I worked on after that. So definitely classic video, another one.
Everybody,
I think
1,
that was 8.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was 9.
You sure?
Tell me, everybody.
Because I played my number 8 on the list here. Oh, no, you know what? We might be on number 9. We are.
Man, we could go forever.
Wait, so does that mean I have to play my 10?
Man, play that fucking...
Wait, did you go first or did I go first?
No, you went first. You gotta play that video. And
no, okay, so it was 9. Wow. Fuck, I still got others I want to play, but
I know, me too. I got several, man. I got Jan. You know what? I'm happy to do like an extra one here. If you want to do like a flanker, quick one, because
let's go ahead and do 11.
Because I know what your 10 is. You know what my 10 is. Like,
I know what your 10 is.
Let's do a free one real quick.
Let me play a 9 for the pure art real quick.
Okay, play a 9.5. Come on, let's go.
Let me play. Yeah, let me play a 9.5 for you guys.
We got great people in this chat. I'm so happy with everybody in this chat.
This is fire. Here it goes, guys. So that right there, that's DJ Snake Middle. I really love that video. Incredible actors, Josh Hutcherson. Man, that was a wild one. Shout out Rob Witt who killed that. Shout out the whole London Alley team. That was an incredible
So
experience.
I don't know that song. Shout out to
Yes.
Jesse Terrero, legend.
What's up,
by the way.
Jesse?
Jesse Terrero, straight legend. Come on, man. Everybody gotta know. We gotta hurry because of time. So I'm gonna just go like if we're gonna take a free one, I'm gonna take this freebie real quick, okay?
Please do.
Let's go.
More than just an option. Refuse to be forgotten. I took a chance with my heart. And I feel it taking over. I better find your love. 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 I better find it all. My love and love is all that tears us apart. I'm more than just a number. I know you'll find another. So every single summer, I'll be the one that you remember. And I better find your love. 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 My love is all that tears us apart. It's more than just a mission. You hear but you don't listen. You better pay attention. In case what you've been missing.
That's a fun one.
Just wait.
Oh,
We gotta go through this whole thing right here.
It's true.
See him doing more than that.
Brown boy. Yeah, what that boy is from where you go. What the fuck? Yo,
Anything seen that?
my dog.
Yeah, I'm going to go to that.
Young dog. Looks so well. Yeah. Do it now.
I mean, listen,
cheers to that one time.
listen.
Because I remember seeing that one for the first time too, bro. Heat.
Listen, I've been to Jamaica probably 30 times and have had some crazy experiences there. And anybody that's been there knows that it gets really violent really quick. And we went into Cassava Peace, which is a very dangerous neighborhood with a Movado and his guys. And there were machine guns and every version of anything you can ever imagine. I had to go to the police to get firearms in order to hand to known drug lords that were clean in order to shoot these scenes. Like, the police looked at me like, you were fucking crazy. We're not giving those guys guns. And we did. It was just one of those jobs. And what's amazing, what I want to show that scene with Movado, because it's I was in the room when Malik Saeed shot that, and an AC, Jamaican AC, and we were in there, and those guys were talking, and I'll never forget, three of us were in there, no AD, and the lights came on, and the AC looked at me and was like, these guys are scary, because he was Jamaican. We were like in a drug lord's house, and it was one of those things. You know, with Drake, it was always about, like, at that point, it was about adding authenticity to his story, because his story was different than how the story is now, right? He was like a Toronto, mainly Jewish kid, grew up with his mom, who was discovering his father, his past. He was writing his narrative that would become his narrative, right? We don't even talk about that anymore. He has become this thing that he is partially and partially not. But, you know, there is no conversation anymore. But that time in 2010, it was different. He wasn't doing those things, you know. It's real, and it was dangerous. And when the lights went off and we were breaking down the set, it was dangerous. And when security left, there were guns, or you know, like, you know, I did Man Down Rihanna there. I'd worked in Jamaica a lot, and every time you do it, it's an incredible place. Nabil would know more than anybody who's worked there a ton. It's wild. Any director on here knows that Jamaica can go any way if you're in the right place. And I've worked in Trenchtown, Tivoli, Cassava, all the garrisons. It can go any way at any time, and there's no police. You can't call anybody. So you might have $1 million in equipment, and, you know, you're worried about that, right?
You put everything on the line every single day you got on set, especially on days like that. And it's like, bro, we're going to our own little mini war to make this shit happen. It's the rush, you know, it's the adrenaline. Like, that's what puts it all together, bro.
Shout out to Nabil. Nabil knows more than anybody. Nabil is, like,
shout out Nabil,
so heavy in Jamaica. 100% and I know I've been there. I've been there. It's rough and it's raw. And I always say that Jamaica is the most dangerous place in the world, because when you call it.
Okay.
Let's get this back up. You know, I want to say one thing. Listen, we're all living a crazy life right now. And people are sharing music, culture, conversations. We're happy to do this. There's so many incredible directors, and Angel, Ev, for you guys bringing us together.
Thank you guys.
This is so much fun, and I hope that next week there's someone different the week after, because honestly, like, music and video is part of our culture, no matter where you are in this spectrum. It really is. And you know, like, look, D-Nice, I love D-Nice, man. You're here. Like, D-Nice, when you're playing, D-Nice, you're playing records and we're dancing, we're having a good time. It changes this crazy place we're in. That's what we want to do right now, which is share the stories of the making of these iconic videos. And there's so much more. Dave Myers, Nabil, Chris, Benny, Jesse, like, you know, Melina, Eve, there's so many of you guys that need to come into this. Michael, all you guys need to come in and share your stories, because it takes our mind off what's happening right now, you know?
Definitely.
Let's go to 10. Come on. We're at 3:42. Give it like 2 minutes. Let's get, because listen, I know what you're coming with.
400 again, and we're jumping back in for number 10 in our unreleased.
Oh, we got Hannah Lux in here too. Who else we got? April May. Love it. Listen, April May, you and I honestly have had some of the funniest times ever with Snoop. I can't even, like, when I see your name, I laugh because of the shit we went through. You know, is Hype in here? Shout out to Hype Williams, for real. Like the GOAT.
Shout out Hype, bro.
Hype, for real.
That's fire.
I know what you're coming with right now. Tell me some stories, because this video is like, it's so hard. Listen, it's so hard.
But are you sure you know what I'm playing?
I know what you're playing. You have to. You have to. It's the one. Like, I got it. It's like is so brilliant. And I like,
Thank
you
you,
know,
bro.
I'll come with as much heat as I can, but this video is so brilliant. I was so happy when you did it. I was so happy when I saw it. Like, just give us like a little bit of the love on what this video was. Because listen, I'm the only person ever to have a single credit on a Kendrick song or video. I think I'm the only one. I know the complications of that camp. So tell me how you worked your way through that. It's very complicated.
I'm gonna play the video first, and then we're gonna get into it.
We're at 362, man. We got to hit 400 before we do this. Come on.
Of course, of course.
Shout some people out then.
No. Well. First of all,
Shout
I'll
out
say
Andrew
one thing,
Pelosi.
because it's so dope that all the directors that I really love and respect are tuned in. Like, shout out to you guys for continuing to use this platform as the dopest medium to, you know, find your voice and find your eye, because this is what it's all about. And with what we do with creativity, there's no cap whatsoever. We can go and do whatever we want. Even during this quarantine, it's been crazy because I've been
Chase,
finding
that's
the
for you.
craziest ways to be creative. And with our careers, we're very, very challenge-based individuals. That's why we go to Jamaica and we want to go shoot a video. That's why we go to Mykonos and go shoot a video. Like, it's about putting ourselves up to the test and having to get through it. And having to get through whatever that crazy experience is, but with an awesome team. And I see all the squads in here that are like, you know, I miss everybody. I miss everybody being on set for real. And this is really what it's all about. We've got to do this for the last, I mean, for me, it's been 11 years in the game, being able to create and be able to do this. And being able to, you know, share these experiences with you, Anthony, is just awesome.
Yeah. Look, man, I like I said, I don't forget the day I met you. So many directors in here, from young guys to old. Like I got a real special relationship with Eve. He's my, like, just to hand it off. I love that idea that we're handing it off.
Totally.
You know, like, and I can say to Eve, like, yo, I don't want to see no more Techno Crane. I'm tired of that. I'm done. Like, make a shot. Or I can say to you, like, I don't want to see any more Tilt Swing. Or I can say to Taj, like, stop with that same thing. Like someone said to me, we're handing off to each other.
And we
You know
got
what I mean?
to. What's up, Taj?
What up, Taj? What up? What up?
All right, so we hit 400 right
Great.
now. Here
Let's
it goes.
go. Play that
Video
shit.
number 10.
Let's go.
Let's get it. I'm
Let's
playing
go.
the intro and everything. Here we go.
So good. Let's go.
Bay Area, what's up?
I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same. Abusing my power full of resentment. Resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. Lucifer was all around me. So I kept running. Until I found my safe haven. I was trying to convince myself the stripes I got. Making myself realize what my foundation was. And I ran. But while my loved ones was fighting a continuous war back in the city, I was entering a new one. A war that was based on apartheid and discrimination.
Yo.
Hey, on my mama, nigga. I'ma be the greatest to ever do this shit. On my mama, though, like, on the dead homies. Hey, Soundwave, turn this shit up, nigga. Turn this shit up. Soundwave, turn this shit up, nigga. Tell me who the bitch nigga hating on me. Jumping on my dick, but this dick ain't free. To triple butterfly, another classic CD. Get a lullaby for everyone that can see. Bro, 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 looking at R.I.P. My diligence is only meant to write your eulogy. All's my life I had to fight, nigga. All's my life hard times like yeah, bad chips like yeah. We gon' be alright. 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 And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. I'm making 11 in the room with the face down. Scheming, and let me bring it all my life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. A pretty pussy and pigeon and it's the highlight. I tell my mama I love her, but this what I like. Lord knows, 20 of them in my Chevy. Tell them all to come and give me, reaping everything I sow. So my karma come in heaven, no preliminary hearings on my record. I'm a motherfucking gangster, silence for the record. Yeah, the world I know is for me. Most of the girls I think I'm gon' be. God inside my basement all day. Most please believe when I say, when you know, we've been hurt, been down before. Nigga, when our pride was low, looking at the world like, where do we go? Nigga, and we hate poor, when the killers dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm at the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my blood might blow, but we gon' be alright. 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 Be alright. We gon' be alright. What you want? You a house? You a car? For the niggas in the room, we never can tell anything. See my niggas. Motherfucker, you can live at the mall. I can see the evil. I can tell that. I don't see legal. I don't think about it. I don't process everything that's legal. Thinking of my partner, but they can't depend on no legal. Digging in my pocket, and the profit. Rolling in my life, and get another direction. And keep you in the presence of these people. I don't talk about it, be about it. Everything that's equal.
Oh, that's what I gotta say to that.
Man,
Seriously, listen. All I gotta say is that the sun comes up and it goes down. And what we do is not easy because you see a lot of bad shit out there. And when I saw that video, having known you for so long, was like, wow, he had that moment. And that moment is something you're going to reference the rest of your life. Because let's be honest, it doesn't happen like that. That's like a ride for me, or like a Diamonds, or like a, like when you have like a Disturbia, like, feel blessed.
me too.
Every shot, every moment. And listen,
Yo, thank you.
I did a campaign with Kendrick. It's not, he, as brilliant as he is, it's not easy. You have to have a certain rapport with him and his crew, and it's hard. And that video is just, it's a masterful piece. It is masterful. Like,
Thank
really,
you,
like you will reference that the rest of your life, as we all will,
Totally.
And Rob Witt, we never worked together, but man, shout out. Beautiful. Because as we know, the sun comes up and it goes down, and we can do a bunch of garbage, or we can do that. And it doesn't always work out that way,
No, it's super true, man. And honestly, we spent 2 days, maybe even 3 days in the Bay Area just shooting, going off with all the homies. And then we went to LA and shot for another day or two out there. But this is one of those ones where it's like, invest in your career, man. Invest in it. When you have a gut feeling, put everything on screen.
Man, you win a Grammy? You win Video of the Year and Grammy for that, or no? What'd you win?
It was Video of the Year, and then it was nominated Grammy. But T Swift took that Grammy.
Hey, Hey man, like that's the one that you'll dream of. Your kids will reference that. It's so brilliant and poetic. It's poetry. It is.
Thank you,
And
brother.
you see it in the comments. You see it in the budget. And it's not, by the way, it's not about like budget or not. It's about being at the right place at the right time with the right people. You
Totally.
had people in front of your camera that were authentic, and you caught Kendrick at this moment when he was vulnerable, and you could do things like being a fucked up hoopy and, you know, like a fucked up car, and it made sense because he was going on the antithesis of what other people were doing. Like, you know, directors ask me all the time, and I'm sure you too, like, what's the key? How do I get there? I said, the key is like making mistakes. The key is to do the wrong thing many, many, many times until you realize, oh, today I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do something completely different than trying to keep up. Because look, when it comes to like our style, music videos, Hype really sort of owns the brand, right? He really like owns that language. And for me, in all respect, I was trying to go against that. When I did Come and Testify, it made a huge deal because it was handheld, it was raw, it was lit fucked up. Like, it was trying to be the antithesis of what Hype was doing. But that's the reference point, right? So when I see you do that, you're referencing like so many versions of art and fashion and culture. You're like clicking at your highest level. And that's incredible, you know?
Thank you, bro. And I mean, it was at the time too when so much crazy stuff was going on in the world. And I was like, how do I find a way to nail this without being like, you know, too on the nose? Like, let's create symbolism.
I mean,
let's do everything that's under, and let's ride under the carpet for a little bit by creating these impactful visuals that'll make you think. And I think that's the most important thing we can do with the film medium, whether it's music videos or commercials or real film, is making people think and creating that tonality again.
But don't forget that you had enough failure and success to have references that were outside the music video realm. You were referencing art, fashion, photography, like you could see it. You were not referencing music videos at that point. You were twisting it on its head. Like there's a Far Side reference in there. There's like, it just feels like a piece of art, you know, and that is rare. That's what I felt when I did put out Ride or Tropico, you know, some of those videos where we were bending the genre, you know, and twisting it. And that really is like, especially in hip hop, like you caught that perfect moment when Kendrick was bending the genre of hip hop and the music and what was possible, and you T-boned it. It's masterful. And there's nothing I have that will match up to it. Nothing.
Nah, but bro, at the end of the day, like, just those words alone mean so much to me, bro. So I appreciate that big time, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Maz.
What's up, Maz?
What's up, man?
Joe? What's up, Rob?
Maz.
What's up, Elias? What's up, guys?
Maz, legend. Maz. All right, man. I'm going to give you my best shot here. I'm going to give you something that was a crazy fucking day with three of the biggest stars in the world.
I already know.
I know
I'm
you
excited.
do. I know you do. What up, Maz? This was I remember, I'll never forget, I was doing an Adidas campaign with David Beckham, and Jay called me and he said, I got this record called Run This Town. And I was like, what is it? He's like, it's fucking hot. That's what it is. And I was like, okay, cool. And he played it. I think Guru, I don't know if Guru's still here. I think Guru played it. And I was listening, I was at this house in the Hollywood Hills doing this Adidas shoot, and he played it. It was like, I couldn't even hear it. And he's like, yo, he's like, it's like a revolution. And I was like, oh, like Brazil, like Colombia, like Africa, a revolution. Yes, he said, Run This Town is not about wealth. It's not about cars. It's about when you send that signal out, how many people are going to come surround you, right? And I said, oh, okay. Oh, you want to do that. You want to go there.
Bro, the shot through the window, let's talk about it one time.
Man, this thing is 5-person, that worked on this video is here right now. It's one of the hardest
That's
days of my
fire.
whole life. Jonathan Sella shot this. There's a photo of me and Ree and Jay and Kanye at like 5 in the morning when the sun came up. We finished. And when we watch this video, I'll tell a great story at the end. But one of my favorite of all time and one of my favorite songs of all time and something I'm very proud to be part of.
Hey, me too.
Run This
I
Town.
love this shit. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm pouring up.
Feel it coming in the air. Feel the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to the thrill. It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Gotta find them coming down. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight. Who's gonna run this town tonight?
I said it, we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance. Get your tees on. All black, everything. Black cars, all black, everything. And the girls are blackbirds. Running with their diligence. I can't hold a tip if you boys really know. This is not familiar. I'll explain later. Over now, let me get back to this paper. I'm a couple fans down and I'm trying to get back. I gave them the grip. I lost a grip of 5 stacks. I'm talking 5, 6, 0 shots, 0 zero. Back to run the circles round. Then we split up. Hold up.
Life's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't fail. I keep doing my thing. Walking tall against the rain. Victories within the mile. Almost there, don't give a shout. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
I'm not stopping.
No, don't. Please.
It's crazy how you can go from being Joe Blow to everybody on your know. I bought my whole family whips, no Vovos. Next
It's
time
your spot right here.
The window shot.
Here you go. Here it comes.
This is the life that everybody asks for. This is a fast life. We up on a crash course. What you think I'm rapping for? To push a rap for? But I know that if I stay nothing, all these girls only gon' want one thing. I can spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good will come is good when I'm. She got an ass that'll swallow up a G-string. And I'm top on two these things. And I'm these things off the re-sling. And my just made it out the precinct. We give a damn about the drama that you do to bring. I'm trying to take the color
Man.
I mean,
But I mean, bro,
woo,
that right there, again, like I haven't watched that video in a minute.
2009. First of all, Maeve, shout out to Maeve.
What's up, May?
What up, Maeve? Anybody that worked on this video knows what was up. This video was fucking crazy. Kathy Angstadt, every video commissioner knows this is one of those videos where you're like, we're fucked. This was 24, 25 hours at least. This is one day. Jonathan Sella. Like, I mean, who was on this video? Brian Justiano, making moves. It was Ricky
Bro,
Carmona. This is like
bro, that's a wild trio.
But you have like these guys were at their height, you know. You're dealing with three superstars, and I can't tell you how many times I've almost made videos with multiple superstars, never happened, and it was so rare. They were at their peak, and for me, Hove is like the guy for me. You know, he really like is the artist that I loved before I knew him, and when I worked with him, I loved him, and he helped my career in a way that no one else did, and I just like the respect level is so high. Every director has that relationship with somebody.
Yeah, bro.
And he, what's up, Mariel? Man, Mariel, you missed all the good ones we did. Yo, Smitty, what up, Smitty?
Hey, Smitty said it was a 15-man right there.
It was crazy. It was like a 26-hour job, man. Rip boo boo.
But that's the thing, bro. It's like I can't wait to see a film that you do in that vibe, and I know everybody can't wait to see a film in that vibe.
Let me give you the best story. Let me give you a real story. So anybody that's worked with Kanye knows that it's fucking impossible. What up, Winterstone? By the way, Winter, thank you for giving me my boo-boo tattoo. It's right there. Benji, anybody knew Benji Bamps was one of my best friends in the whole world. He passed away 6 years ago. He was a production director. He was like my brother in the whole world, and it makes me crazy to think that he's gone. So he did all these videos, just FYI. So when we did this video, I handed in a rough cut to Jay, and I got on the phone with him, and he's like, yo, I need you to change these 2 shots. Okay, good. I got on the phone with Ree. Can you change this 1 shot? Okay, cool. I said to Jay, I was like, yo, let me know what Ye says. This is like an inside joke. He's like, nah, I'm not telling. No, you got to call him. I'm not calling Kanye. No way am I calling Kanye and trying to deal with that whole thing. He's like, nope, you're doing it.
Wow.
So I called Ye. And by the way, anybody knows me knows I'm down to talk shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't. Kanye can call me right now. I got on the phone with him, and he was like, first of all, the edit's too fast. It's not cinematic. I said, listen, I have 3 degrees in film. I am not going to, cinematic is not determined on the edit speed. It's determined on the content. So give me your notes on your set. Okay. There's too much Rihanna in my verse. I was like, okay, cool. I'll work that out. And I need you to get rid of that scene where I got the flamethrower and I'm in the camera. I was like, that's the best sequence. He's like, you got to get rid of that. I like it. Okay, fine. So I cut it the way he wanted it, and we approved it. Listen, shout out to Nabil, because honestly, I don't know how you did it. It's impossible. Some artists are just tough, and they're geniuses. Kanye is a genius. He really is. He is. But to like when you get to the granular level of working with somebody, Jay is like, he's pragmatic. He's easy. You can have a real conversation with him. It's not emotional, right? Some artists, it's much harder to get to that place where you can get to something. Nabil, don't give me that face, man. Come on, man. You're like the whisperer. You're like the Kanye whisperer. Come on, man. Nabil, the king. He is a king, Nabil. I love Nabil. I met Nabil in 2015 when he was a photographer. I was editing Common Testify with Jeff Sellis, the king, Jeff Sellis. And Nabil came in to say what's up. And, man, I love Nabil. I love your work. I can't wait to see what you do. But you are the Kanye whisperer. There is no one. You are the GOAT with Kanye, because the rest of us are like, I'm good. Life's too short. I'm so proud of that video because it like is Khalid still here? Please, like honestly, like one of the most incredible cinematographers, somebody that I would be honored to do a film with, anything. And he said to me the other day, I was talking to him, he was like, that video run this town, man, it made me want to be a cinematographer. And that's so moving when somebody's like so established now. This is 2009. Jeff Sellis shot this. Jeff Sellis is like one of the legends of our business. I mean, sorry, Jeff Sellis edited it. Jonathan Sella shot it. Jonathan is like one of the legends of our business. He's like the quiet, calm killer. You know, anybody knows him knows that.
I met him before. I got that vibe.
Oh, Sella, incredible. By the way, shout out to Ricky Carmona who gripped this. Like this, I think we were one of the like old New York fortresses from like the 1800s. I think we were in Staten Island. I can't remember, but it was like anything could happen. We had so many people. It was just volatile, you know. It was one of the making moves. Morales can tell you, you know, he really like
making moves. Let us know,
Elvis. Bro. Elvis, shout out to Elvis, my guy. He was there. Like,
what up, Smitty?
So many guys were here for this video. So many people. So many special people. Anyway.
No, it's crazy, man. I truly love that video, and I think it really set a huge tone for all of us. And it's just one of those pieces that's going to live on forever, my brother.
Yeah, man. Let's do something. I want to do something that no one's ever seen because we all have them.
Hey, I'm going to play like 30 seconds of mine.
Okay, cool. I'll do the same. Mine's got such a crazy story. Just
to keep things safe.
Come on. I'm not worried about any sort of like
are you ready?
By the way, don't be fooled. Every director has an L. Listen.
No, hey.
Every director.
Real, that shit hurts. We all know it. Especially when you love a piece and like 3 weeks later the other piece gets a motherfucking VMA. So I'm gonna show you one. I think
Billy Parks. I'm not going to be playing John Mayer. I love you. I love that video. But yes, we all have a couple. I got a couple. Everybody got a couple. It is what it is. Go. Billy.
Whoa!
Why did that get killed, man? That is beautiful. What happened?
Bro, I have no clue.
People don't realize like the inner workings. Any video commissioner here,
the curse of
like,
Castaigne Studios.
What happened?
Yo, bro, it's one of those things where to me I was like, damn, this is such a sick piece. And then literally Justin went on to Ellen and premiered the first like 25 seconds of it. Dude, a week later, shout out X went and shot the next video. And the whole video starts out with the intro of this. So it was definitely heartbreaking. It was a weird moment. It was a weird moment.
I mean, Justin's tricky, but I got a couple of like fancy Drake, you know, that I don't know why that got killed. Yeah, fire. That video's fire.
Let's get it though.
Oh, there's a John Legend video that Billy Parks produced. It's so fire. I love Billy Parks. He's on here. Animal. Anybody knows him. He's a fucking one of a kind. But I got to play something else that means a lot more to me. So when we did Fancy, it didn't work out. And Cash Money was trying to hold money from me. And I had some very tough conversations with them about like what I was willing to do and not do, and that this was not going to happen. And shout out to Maz, who shot Fancy, who's here. But that
Hey,
video
this
never
is when
came
you
out.
had your company, right?
Yeah, and I just let him know, like, look, I'm not gonna like fanboy you. Like, we will go to court. I will sue you. Like, you have to pay me. And it got nasty. And in 2011, for my birthday, which is April 18th, David Beckham, who's my dear friend, took me to a Laker game for my birthday. His birthday is May 2nd. And when we were sitting at the game, 2 seats over was what's his name that runs Young Money? I can't remember his name. He was like, yo, we've been trying to holler at you. Like, Wayne's coming out of jail. We got this record that, like, we want you to do. And I was like, saying to myself, like, you guys were threatening to kill me like 2 weeks ago. Like, okay, cool. All right, let me give you my number and just call me. And so, like, about 3 weeks later, Wayne calls me out of jail. He's like, yo, you got to do this video. It's so emotional, and I want you to do your thing. And I was like, okay. And so I listened to the song, and it was, he didn't really want to be in the video. It was special, and they wanted an actress to be in the video. I've seen a bunch of actresses, and Making Moves Morales can remember he was there.
Making moves.
We were at Soho House, and we were meeting with actresses, and I went to go meet with this I saw this photo of this girl, Denise Vassy. I was like, wow, look at this girl. And I sat down with her, and I like had my sunglasses on. I put my glasses on. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm late. I was a little skinnier and a little like younger, but I'm sorry, I'm late. And I looked at her, and there was like this thing, and we had a great conversation. And I remember getting up after, and I went to go see Jonas, and I was like, I never forget. I was like, something about that girl, like, and he was like, yeah, Mandolini, yeah. I'm sure my wife's like heavy right now in the house with 2 kids trying to make dinner, you know. And so we did this video, and her and I had a really interesting, funny, crazy connection. And we're married. We have 2 kids now. We met on this video.
Hey, shout out Drake.
Shout out to my wife, Denise Vassy. No one's ever seen this video. We did it. I'm super proud of it. Wayne, I'll never forget, he called me and he was like, this video is a masterpiece. And I was like, okay, great. Like, you get that call, you're like, let's go. And then an hour later, he called me and is like, I'm going to shelve it. It's too deep. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? He like, I'm me at that point. It's 2011. Like, I'm not a kid. Like, I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna shelve it? Like, and then Jeff Panzer and these guys, like all these guys I don't want to talk to are calling me. Oh, he's gonna shelve it. What do you mean you're shelve it? It's too deep. And then a month later, Chris shot a different video. Shout out to Chris. I love you, Chris. I never understood it. It was, so this video has never been colored. It's never been retouched. Wow. It's never been finished. It's never been seen. But it's the video where I met my wife.
That's beautiful.
Who is the mother of my kids.
Whew.
Shout out to Lennox and Dries. We always share it as our little funny thing that we met through Lil Wayne, which is weird. My wife is incredibly hot and sexy and was very good on a pole at that time in her life. So I was watching it today, and I walked up, I was like, damn, you like were crazy at that time, and you smoked like 8 cigarettes in this video. Like, what? It's so funny when you have kids because the world changes. But this is a song called How to Love. And this is a video that no one has ever seen except for maybe Chandra, who's on here. A couple like people. Eve, what are you talking about, Easy?
Man, let's see it.
I'm gonna show you a couple. I'm gonna show you like.
See, I just want you to know that you deserve the best. Beautiful. And I want you to know you're far from usual.
little bit.
Hey, that's real though.
It was a very, very deep, raw video, and
It would have
Malik,
been that would have been
it
so
was so
massive.
fire. And Malik shot that, and honestly, like my wife's an incredible actress, and she went all the way on this, and we just
That's
pushed the
some good shit.
boundaries. And it was one of those ones that was really surprising to me. And sometimes it happens. And it doesn't matter who you are and what your name is and where you are in the world. Sometimes artists just have a different thought. And
100%.
so her and I built our family and our relationship around that secret. No one's ever seen that ever.
But everything happens for a reason, bro.
Word.
You know, you met your wifey on that, bro.
Crazy.
That's a beautiful thing. That
crazy. Shout out to my wife.
Hey, do me a favor.
My
Send me
wife
that
is
link
like,
when we get off though, because I got to see that for real.
Shout out to my wife. My wife is like just a queen, conqueror, mother, lover,
yes, queen,
leader, everything. And that was like a really cool, amazing way to meet her, and our worlds collided in a music video, which is so strange. And I had a bodyguard. What's funny is that I wasn't. Here's the best part of the story is that I wasn't sure what Cash Money was going to do, because I had like some issues with them. So I called Norm, who used to be Jay's bodyguard, rest in peace. And I was like, I need a guy with me who looks like a grip, because I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. So they sent me this like Blackwater killer, this guy, to be with me all day, just to watch my back, because I wasn't sure. It's, you know, it's like, it's a crazy world out there. People don't realize. And I'll never forget Denise saying to me, "Why do you have a bodyguard?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "That guy with the shaved head that looks like he's been in 17 wars." I was like, that's Tony Mill in his back pocket. And I was like, "Listen, it's not important. Don't worry about it." And it's one of those funny stories. It's you know, it's just funny how life works, you know.
It is. It's a
People want to
thing.
see Fancy. Fancy will never be seen by anybody. It's a fucking great video. I have to say it. Maz shot it. I love it.
Hey, bro, thank you for sending the link though in my inbox. Though I appreciate that. Hey,
man,
Mandler, bro, this was a real pleasure, bro.
This is so good. I'm so glad. 400 people consistently. All you guys, everybody out there in this community, like, come on, be proud, hold our head up high, and let's do this again. I can't wait to see who's next.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
But it was a real pleasure doing this with you, bro, and so much respect and so much love, bro, and you know.
The funny thing is that I know you got fire that you never showed me, and vice versa, and that's what's going to be fun, you know.
Definitely.
That's what's going to be fun. I can't wait to see the next crew come through and, like,
me too,
you know, have to share the top 10. It's hard, man. As you get through this, you have wins and losses and things you reflect on as you do it over years. You've got a real a history, as we call it, you know.